Hey, so I'm making this video for knowledge on entities, evil spirits, and thought forms and shapes. So, my view, my purpose, as I see it, as I've come to understand it through a lot of trials and tribulations and tests and being lost and finding my way, what I find my purpose in this regard to be is being one of bridging gaps or cross communication. What I'm saying is that entities, thought forms, thought shapes, certain thoughts in general, and evil spirits or wayward spirits or lost spirits, spirits in kind of limbo, are all really one and the same thing. There are a lot of different kinds of shapes or characteristics that these things can take on. It's just a matter of where you tend to gravitate toward that makes the major difference here. So from a metaphysical standpoint, thoughts have shape, have form, and a lot, and have like not just shape and form, but archetypical shape and form. So if you think of like a hero or a villain or a wizard, a witch, these are different molds that energy can not just fill into like water in a container, but in a more objective standpoint, it's something that, again, we gravitate toward based on our upbringing, based on our blueprint, based on our vibrational patterns and patterning. And what allows us to transcend these things is awareness of vibration itself. Vibration can be fine-tuned with like just a very specific, accurate tuning and working. It can be very precise in terms of practice. Usually, one benefits the most from having practiced, habitually made it your pattern to practice a vibration of unconditional love, so that whenever any thought form, entity, archetype, egregor, or evil spirit, and egregor is a type of evil spirit. It's like an amassing of evil spirits that carry out and manipulate people into carrying out egregious acts. Egregor's egregious. But having that practiced vibrational pattern of unconditional love, whenever any thought form, thought shape, entity, extraterrestrial approaches you or tries to come into your field of awareness, it tends to keep them at bay, if not does what's called a transmutation or a conversion of one state to another, and it tends to just happen automatically, and they tend to either leave you alone, or if it's their time and you've had it really, really practiced and down, like it's just your home vibration, they'll come to you to just like be transmuted. but yeah, it just the reason I use like these different terms is not just to cast a wide net or to shed light on what feels like is something coming into vogue, into mainstream, but to help you identify and be a little more aware of when these things are in your vicinity. And you can usually tell because, one, first and foremost, your thoughts are not where they could be in terms of quality. Quality is key here. If you're really like hanging around be aware of like the way I phrase this. If you're really hanging around in the lower, let's say like more negative thought patterns and emotional patterns, that's when like you giving off that energy is what is feeding these things. And so becoming aware of your thoughts automatically takes you out of that. A good way to think of it, and a good segue into the next thing, is flies hanging around, poop. If your thoughts and feelings are shitty, that's going to attract, metaphysical, spiritual flies, and that's what they're going to feed off of. So it's important to not feed them. But the segue there is in smells. There are different types of like clairvoyance. You can see clairsentience, clairalience. I think that's how you say it. Different ways to understand and interpret our experiences that come they're not necessarily extra sensory. It's more like using the senses that you already have to expand your awareness. So a big thing for me, especially when I give treatments, or if I'm giving treatment or kind of channeling or doing like a sort of medium kind of thing, smells for me are a big thing, and seeing are some of like my most natural tools. And so if you smell something that's like putrid, or like just have bad smells that come out of nowhere, that's a clear indicator that there's something around you. Likewise, good smells. So like let's say the higher your quality of thoughts and emotions, that's how you know a muse, an ascended master, your guides are around you. Those really, that's kind of dark here. I don't like that lighting. That's how you know they're hanging around you, because like you'll just be inspired. You'll get new insights, all sorts of things when you start to raise your quality of thinking and feeling. And it really is like one, experimentation, and two, fine tuning. And like just that knob on the radio always comes to mind if you're old enough to get that reference. So experimentation in terms of like, fucking around and find out, meaning that you don't know. There's a sense of feeling of exploration, almost kind of like play. And discovery is a big part of it. Discovery and exploration. So being like, okay, what does play feel like? What does discovery feel like? What does relief or bliss feel like. And you'll notice, just like there are archetypical patterns for thought and emotion, there are shapes to it. There are shapes your body can take. So if you've heard of power poses, if you've heard of any one of these things, you can interrupt and be more proactive about your patterns than being reactive or passive, meaning that you're waiting for things to happen to feel certain things. You can, a big one is in love, right? When you want to feel what it's like to be like loved or in a relationship, you can just picture it and sit in that feeling and give yourself the love that you're waiting for, so you're not waiting around for a relationship. Yeah. And so why I bring this up is because the quality of your thoughts and emotions will attract what are referred to as like beings of light, angels, ascended masters, guides. I mean, to take it a step further is like different versions of you that have reached enlightenment, versions of you from not just past lives, but like not just past lives or alternate universes, but you, like your mind, not mind, like something like a mind, something like a mind and soul to me are more or less interchangeable. It's just, it depends on context, but they both have a certain pattern to them, right? It's like each life is like one tick on a timeline. And so there's like, the line itself is your core essence. And so that core essence has manifested in innumerable, infinite ways to learn, to grow, to evolve. And so you can call into yourself, your awareness, your experience, those other parts of you that have reintegrated with what people call like God or source energy. And, to help you grow and evolve. This is something that you can do. If you're seeing this video, this is something that you can do. Some of them call it, some people call it like, what is it like? Well, the practice itself is called integration, making an integration. And this happens a lot with like spirit animals. Like there are like, and what will help you with that is the color. So if it's darker, that's like your subconscious, your mind, your spirit saying like, this is something evil, something toxic. And so like white, gold, lighter blue, even like some red, animals will, like, you might get a visual for them. And the key is to observe your train of thoughts and where they want to go, not where you want them to go. That's key. Where they naturally go, and you'll feel like you'll want to stay away, or you'll like be pulling it towards something, depending on where you're at. And in treating any negative or evil spirit or entity or thought form, again, it's just, this thing has been caught in a loop of negativity and toxicity, And so we don't want to give it more negativity or more toxicity. We want to, the way I picture it and feel it is to see how far out, how much I can encompass it with my awareness, and then in a way that is not condescending, be like, okay, you've been trapped in this state, like I fill you with unconditional love. I understand you're hurting. I don't take offense to your presence. And if I can like kind of, to me, I can kind of like see more or less this overall vibrational pattern. And if I can like fill it, allow it, allow it to be filled with light, with loving energy, this helps to transmute it and for lack of a better word, kind of like do away with it. To help it along is more accurate. Yeah. Okay. Unconditional love is the key to growth, evolution. It's a lot more resonant with like simple awareness. It's not like this like saccharine, like gooey, unconditional. It's not like so over the top. It's just like simple. It's pretty much like simple awareness, and a little like awareness and forgiveness and understanding is a lot closer to unconditional love. But the more you practice it, the more you'll embody it, and the more frequently this state of being will kind of accompany you, or the more you'll just like be in that state. Oh, if you can move it. Okay. I think that's it. I need to see a friend. Or maybe that's it. Yeah, that should be it. If you have any questions, comment, like, subscribe. Appreciate you.